Survivor Thrivers. Authentically Me, Regina V, is back with another video. How are you? I hope you've been well. I hope you've been in good health. Today is Wednesday, August 23rd. We are over halfway done with the month of August. It went by so fast, but the kids are excited because they went back to school on Monday. And right now, on this beautiful Wednesday, I have some opportunity, some space, and some grace to film another video for you guys. And I'll also give you an update about what's been going on since the kids have started going back to school, how my personal training job is going, how my yoga classes are going. And yeah, I'll just share with you towards the end. So if you want to hear all of that, definitely stay tuned toward the end of this video. Today, we are going again through It's Not You, It's Them, 30 Days of Hope and Help for the Adult Child of a Narcissist by Debbie Tudor. If you are new to my channel, I like to go through therapy workbooks and I like to video record them. You can call it video journal them. And I like to share them with you guys because you can follow along. You can grab this book yourself and do the work yourself, or you can follow along with me and just hear my commentary and hear my journey, what I've gone through since beginning this journey. When I originally started the channel, this was the first therapy workbook that I ever went through, and it has blessed me. And so now I'm just going back through it as like a little litmus test to see where I'm at 2 years later and to bring you guys along with me for the journey. So we are getting into day 11. Let me find it. Here it is, day 11. So it says, Making Them Look Good. Mother's Jewelry Box by Debbie Tudor. I touched the jewels as I could not touch you, sparkling like holy glass, made sense of them at last, organized and divided. Each found their place, their proper home, as I could never do with you. The jewels and I, we had in common our ornamental value, to cast light back on you, to spotlight, to impress, worn on your dress, or quietly by your side. It is often the role of the scapegoated child to impress others in order to make the narcissist look good. That's why it's so hard for others to understand the pain that goes on in private. Well, she speaks so highly of you, they say, if you try to convey what the relationship is like. We aren't loved for who we are, only for what we do. That makes them look good. In short, they wear us like jewelry. Wow, what are my thoughts on that today? Yeah, I really enjoyed this poem. And sitting here today, just thinking about jewelry, it's something that you put on with a certain outfit, it's something that you take off. Being ghosted and being treated with a silent treatment makes me think of jewelry, I guess, because I have some jewelry in there that I just had to have it. I loved it when I first got it. I always wore it. I think of my Alex and Ani bracelets. I got a collection of those that I used to wear. They used to jangle, and I got my kids' initials, and then I got a mother one. And now I hardly ever wear them. And some of them they didn't tarnish, but they lose their original color. I used to get my Alex and Anis before they just went to straight plated gold. So it's kind of like a brassy type feel, but it was like a shinier, almost gold finish brass. And so over time, it just tarnished. And I guess you could say that the relationship between my narcissist parent and I just tarnished over time. And once I got ghosted, I was put away and I was no longer shiny and new and great. And so I could definitely see that. And I could see that there are some people out there that live vicariously through their children. And, the children are pushed and pushed and pushed to succeed to where sometimes I wonder if they're even enjoying themselves. My kids are in volleyball, the oldest daughter, and then the middle daughter is in soccer. And my husband coaches a soccer team. And it's just it's interesting to see the different styles of coaching because he just wants the kids to get out there and have fun. Get out there, have fun, don't do no bunching. And then there's other teams, especially in the past, not so much right now, but we haven't gotten the games. But there are other teams that take it so serious. And those are the teams that are like coordinated. Everybody has like all this special gear. And to be honest, we end up whooping their tail. So, you know, but I definitely can see how a person could feel like a piece of jewelry when you have a narcissistic parent, because when you're going along to get along with whatever they have to say, everything is just great. Everything is sunshiny days. But the minute you go against the grain, the minute you disagree, the minute you call out a behavior, the minute you set a boundary, it's like, here come them clouds, put you away or put you down, break you, you know, try to break you or whatever. You know, I've had a necklace one time, I could not get it off. And I wanted to get it off because it was making my neck itchy. And I was like fumbling with it. My husband went here and I just yanked it off, you know? So that is my thought on that. Let's see, affirmation for today. I deserve to be myself just as I am. I have nothing to prove to anyone. And affirmations in this, she recommends saying it 3 times, taking deep breaths in and repeating, I deserve to be myself just as I am. I have nothing to prove to anyone. A deep breath in, deep breath out. I deserve to be myself just as I am. I have nothing to prove to anyone. What this means to me. It is my God-given birthright, and yours too, to be who I am. I can't be anybody else because everybody else is taken. If God wanted me to be somebody else, I would have been somebody else. If he wanted me to look a certain way, I would look differently. He wanted me to be exactly as I am, who I am, and he gave me the gifts that he gave me to express to others. So I have that right. It's my God-given right to be just as I am, and I have nothing to prove to anyone. I can't prove myself right. I can't prove myself wrong. I can't prove you right, and I can't prove you wrong. I don't owe anybody anything. Nobody owes me anything either. I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to justify myself. I don't have to make my decisions make sense to you, because my why is different from somebody else's why. And that has to do with so many things. It has to do with upbringing. It has to do with spiritual background. It has to do with, you know, how many kids I have. It has to do with the fact that I'm married. Like, all the experiences that I've had throughout my life help me make the decisions that I make for me. And I never want to have to prove myself to someone by doing things and making decisions to either justify you or to justify myself. I lived and operated in that for so long, and it's just the most uncomfortable box you could ever be in, trying to prove yourself to people that are going to have their opinions anyway. We all have our opinions. Even I do. And luckily through this journey and just through prayer and through journaling, I had to realize your opinions based on experience, it doesn't make it true. And it doesn't make it factual. It just makes it your opinion. Now, if you have an opinion of something or someone, and then they prove, see, using that word prove, but then they exhibit a behavior that makes your opinion, you go back and you're like, yeah, I was right. Cool. But up until that point, your opinion is just your opinion, and everybody has opinions. And I really feel like things will be a lot different just out there in the world if people stop having opinions and judgments on other people, because you don't know what another person is going through. You really don't know. You just don't know. I'm into true crime, and, you know, I watch all of them, not just a particular type of true crime. You know, the ones that are with children are particularly, you know, kind of hard for me to watch. But, you know, if I want to know the story, I'll watch it. But it's like some of those kids are going through like, woo. And we could turn the blind eye to it, or we can educate our children and say, yeah, stand up for yourself, set boundaries, make sure you tell your teacher, defend yourself, but also kind of look at that person like maybe something's going on in their family, in their household. Not everybody got something to eat. Not everybody got a mom and daddy at home. You know, so anyway, I didn't mean to get off into that, but yeah, we don't have nothing to prove to anybody, and you deserve to be just as you are. And if you haven't heard that this week, this year, ever, I'm here to tell you, you deserve and have the God-given right to be just as you are. And the people that are for you will find you. And the people that are not for you will reject you. And people's rejection, God's protection. So anyway, journal to heal, being myself. Write down all the ways you were used to enhance your narcissistic parents' image, lessons you didn't want, extracurricular activities you were pushed into, times when you needed support and were told, don't embarrass me instead. Journal freely about how that felt. Next, sign the promise below. I had a lot of lectures that I didn't want. I wasn't pushed into extracurricular activities. I wanted to do extracurricular activities. I just enjoyed being after school, I enjoyed doing things after school because, she was a full-time working single mother. And so a lot of times I would get home from school and it would just be me and it would be kind of boring. And I also had a rule that I couldn't go outside and I couldn't answer the door, baby. Couldn't even answer the phone unless it was her. Yes, okay, so it got to be lonely and I was like, I'd rather be at school. I wanted to do competitive drama. I was in the choir, I was in the play, cross country, track. I did a little bit of basketball. And yeah, the extracurricular activities were not pushed onto me. Times when you needed support and were told, don't embarrass me. I feel like what comes to mind right now is like parent-teacher conferences, or if I happened to misbehave and a teacher called me and I needed support, especially after my essay, because I guess on YouTube you can't say that word, my child essay. And when I started to like misbehave and stuff, it was really, I think, a cry for help, and I was hurting. And so I got attention the wrong way by being a class clown or, getting into it with teachers and stuff like that. And I really needed support. And some teachers were just rude and needed a parent to put them in their place. But instead it was more so, a dump on me, and then I would be in trouble. So when you needed support and were told, don't embarrass me, like that, instead of waiting and hearing my side. And now looking back on that, I'll tell you about that later. But one thing I would like to say is a lot of times the things that we go through prepare us for the adults that we're going to be. So whenever my son would have teachers call me about something, I would never react. And some teachers will be like, and he just won't stop talking. Okay, I'll talk to him about that. He's so smart. He gets done with his work so fast. And, I just can't stop him from talking. And his friends, some of them are not on the level that he's on in reading or math. And so I really need him to stop. Okay, I'll make sure I talk to him about that. And they would keep repeating the same thing, like they were trying to get me to be like, or, boy, come in here. Nah, okay, I'm going to talk to him about that. Oh, well, okay. And I would talk to him about it. And that's when we came up with the idea of just turn your paper over and just start drawing. Start doodling, start drawing. And I've told that to all my kids, and they all do it. They have work that they bring home. The girls do. He's graduated, but the girls bring their stuff home. They finish whatever they did on the front. They'll show me the work, then they'll show me the artwork on the back. But yeah, so, it helped me because I just was like, I don't want to do that to my kids. I don't want to embarrass my kids because of an adult. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe you at school doing this. No, I'll talk to him about it. But I'm not going to embarrass him. I'm not going to come up there and like, if you do it one more time, I'm going to come up there. No, I'm not doing all that. For who? For why? For what? Yeah. So she said, journal about how that made you feel. Well, it just, what I just said to you guys as far as like teachers calling and parent-teacher conferences. Oh my God, I would have so much anxiety all week, all day when I knew parent-teacher conferences was coming. And I would even try to behave in classes. And there was some teachers that was just like, And that's so sad. But I didn't need support. It made me feel anxious. It made me feel worried. It made me feel afraid, So, dear Regina, or you can put your name in, I vow that I will never make you perform for someone else's spotlight again by having you put your interests, hopes, and dreams aside. You are free to pursue what interests you, to make mistakes, to be human, and to live your own life. Love me. Yeah, I promise I'm not gonna let you embarrass yourself or lose sight of what interests you because you're afraid of being embarrassed, or I'm going to support you when you need support as you follow your interests, your hopes, and your dreams. And you are free to pursue what interests you, to make mistakes, to be human, and to live. And I have to remind myself, I'm a human. I'm human. I'm yin and yang, light and dark, good and bad. I make mistakes. That's why we need a savior. That's why sometimes when I talk to people that, don't believe in Christ, it's a great conversation, because I'm like, no, it's a misconception that Christians are perfect. No, we know we need a savior. I know I do. I don't ever want to become a person where I'm like, I don't make mistakes. I don't sin. I didn't need to ask for forgiveness today. No, baby, I do something every day. Every day. I had some negative thoughts earlier today, and I was like, ooh, forgive me, Lord. I don't be thinking like that. So, but you're human. And so you're going to make mistakes. And then when it says you're free to pursue your interests, when you let go, for me, once I let go of toxic relationships, once I decided, okay, the silent treatment thing, we're just going to remain no contact and I'm not going to come chasing, I was free to pursue so many interests. I stepped out on faith and did things that I never knew I was capable of doing. I never even knew I was interested in it, because my time had been spent playing these games, and cat mousing people and trying to, again, prove myself to people. I'm a person, when I get into something, I get into it. You know what I mean? And so that may mean that what I was doing before, I'm not doing right now. But that doesn't mean that I'm intentionally trying to do anything to anyone. I'm just pursuing an interest right now. And so it's just like when I had those previous relationships, especially with my mother, it would be like, dude, if you know me and you see I got all these kids and I got this stuff going on, why do you take it to an offensive, negative place if you don't hear from me? And that's when I had to tell, like, I can't be intimately close with you because I don't think that about you. Like, if I haven't heard and I think about you, oh, hey mom, how you doing? And I genuinely mean, hey mom, how you doing? So, it's like this cycle, and it takes up so much energy and it takes up so much space that you really don't have a lot of freedom to pursue your interests, especially if you have a family and a big family. So once I let go of that and that cat and mouse, I was able to meet some really great new people, reignite some relationships with people that just encouraged me and poured light into me, who knew me. People that, like, I have a sister in Christ, we don't talk like that, but every time we see each other, we get together, it's on sight. You would never know, because that's how close of a bond we created, and that's how good I know her and how good she knows me. So anyway, but yeah, you're free to pursue your interests, and if you step back a little bit from people, you will have more freedom and more space to pursue some interests. Okay, so that was great. Yeah, but you can make mistakes, y'all. Follow your hopes, follow your dreams, see where they lead you. God said, I've given you everything you need for a good and godly life. If nobody is helping you live a good life, you might want to distance yourself. So that's all I have to say about that. Yes, so updates with everything that I'm going through. Not going through, I said going through. Well, going through. Change. I'm going through change. The kids have started back at school, which is really exciting. I told you guys about my personal training job that I got. I told you guys about my yoga pop-up brunch events and the fact that I'm also teaching yoga classes at 6 a.m. I was doing it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but that proved to be way too much. So I'm only doing Monday and Fridays now. Update on the personal training first. Great. I have got so many clients. Every person that I have consulted with has signed up for sessions. My first lady signed up for 4 sessions and she completed her sessions last week, and she's gonna sign up for some more, but she's a teacher, so she's back at school. My second person signed up for 4 sessions. My third person signed up for 8 sessions. My fourth person signed up for 1 session, but she is uncomfortable with the gym atmosphere. And I get that because I used to be uncomfortable too. I used to be self-conscious too. But now that I'm going there and I'm personal training, and even before then, I just had to tell myself, like, no one's looking at you. And if they are, they're looking at God's glory on display. If they are, maybe you're inspiring someone to do something different. But most of the time, people are into their own thing. They're doing their own thing. And so I'm excited to talk to her to help her, get over that, being intimidated by the gym. I actually have a session this evening at 5 o'clock. It'll be my third client's second session. And these sessions, they're paying in bulk to do these sessions. So, it's not like a monthly thing. That not only are they paying for their membership, they're paying for the sessions. So, it's like she paid for 8 sessions and I was like, oh my God. And I'm an independent contractor and it's such a great commission. It's 60-40. Like, what? When I was working in a salon, it never got up to 60-40. Well, not for me. Unless you were somebody that was bringing in, I believe it was maybe $5,000 a week, then you would be on the higher end. But at the time, it was like 55 was the max. And so I was just like, oh my God, that's a great commission. And everyone has been wonderful. Everyone has just blessed me. The fact that they want to work with me, the fact that they're willing to put themselves out there, they're willing to be trained by me. My first one that finished all 4 of her sessions, she was like, you kicked my A. And I was like, good, I wanna hear that. I wanna hear that you're soaring a good way. I wanna hear that, you're recovering. I wanna hear, you feel a change in your body, even in those 4 sessions. So really great, really, really blessed to be able to experience that. And it helps me use one of my talents, two of my talents, which I always felt since I was younger was my talent, which is complimenting people and encouraging people. And so, obviously from having a hair background, that's, you want to pour into people. I want them to feel like the best version of themselves when they leave. I want them to feel lifted and light. So that's been really fun. The yoga classes in the morning have been awesome. Right now, I just have one lady that shows up regularly. I mean, she's in there waiting with the lights off. And, she does all the poses. She does all the moves. There were some older people that were not really able to do some of the poses. So I had to come up with some modifications for, a more older person. I don't like using the word elderly, for an older person, just to make it to where they feel like they can do the poses and they're not trying to hurt themselves. And I really try to explain to them that it's a misconception that yoga is about getting the pose perfectly. It's not a yoga perfect, it's a practice. And so it's really about being in tune with your body and how do you feel? Do you feel like your shoulders are down and away from your ears? Do you feel like your chest is tall? How does that feel? Do you feel anything in your shoulders when you do that? But anyway, that's another thing. And then, so I haven't done a yoga pop-up brunch this month. I'm gonna get back into that next month because I like to give myself 30 days to prepare, to plan everything. But yeah, that's the pretty much the update. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys, because the video is going into almost 30 minutes, is I hung out with my niece yesterday. And first of all, I'm so proud of the woman she's becoming. Just wow. But we have obviously similar backgrounds. We have the same family. Her mom is my sister. And we had some really great conversations. And she is no contact right now. Now, she hasn't said, hey, I'm going to be no contact forever. She just recently moved out of her home, which for her, in her words, was toxic. And she moved out on her own, and she said, once I do that, I want a clean slate. So she decided to go no contact. And I support her in that. I'm not saying either do it or don't do it. I'm saying I respect your decision and I understand. But we had a conversation and we were talking about that. And going no contact, she was telling me how she was at her job, and an older gentleman, she had made a comment of some kind. And the older gentleman was like, it doesn't matter what your parents do to you. They could do anything, and it may hurt you, and it may this, but you're supposed to honor your mother and your father till your days be long. Bible quote. Hold on one second. My baby need me. Okay. My baby is up from her nap. She's done doing what she was doing in there. So let me just get through this really quickly. Sometimes people use the Bible as a weapon, as a tool to control. And that is not the purpose of the Bible. It's meant to tell us stories. It's meant to share songs with us. It's meant to share poems with us, prophecy with us. It's to show us the love of God throughout the entire journey of the Bible. And sometimes people cherry pick things and they use it as a way to judge you for the decisions that you've made. First of all, we are all saved by grace through faith in Jesus, okay? Second of all, going no contact could, in fact, be honoring your parent. Instead of snapping, cursing them out, treating them badly out of resentment when they get older or something like that. The other thing is people like to quote that, but they never quote, do not provoke your children or do not exasperate your children, which makes your children give up. I did a study on that. Give up in life, on life. Have no self-confidence, are full of self-doubt, exasperated. I give up. I'm going to just go through the mundane because nothing's going to change, Nobody really quotes that to parents or to adults. Don't exasperate your children. I know what it feels like to be exasperated as a child. That's why I was like, oh, you going to slam the math book upside my head? Okay. I give up on math. Math is not for me. And I never went far in math. My son, Excelsior and beyond. What was his final one? It was like calculus, and then he was going to go a step up for his final senior semester, which I think would have been college something. But then he found out he didn't need too many credits to graduate, and he was like, why would I do such a hard class? But yeah, you can exasperate your children, and nobody brings that up. So my prayer in saying that, if you come across this portion of the video and you're meant to, read the Bible for yourself. Ask God to give you a desire to read the Bible, to want to read it. Ask him to show you something lovely. Ask him to show you something that is just meant for you, that is intimate to you, your situation specifically. Never blindly follow any man. I don't care what their title is, pastor, reverend, deacon, usher, whatever. God made the Bible available to us in so many forms, when if you read the Old Testament, it wasn't. And they didn't have the scriptures that we have. And what they did have was only given to a few who were deemed teachable. Levites, I believe, and high priest. Now, anybody can read the Bible, old and new. My Bible app on my phone, I can read the Torah if I wanted to, because it's on the Bible app. I don't understand the language. I tried it. Trust me, that's me. I'm a trier. I'm a learner. So I just wanted to share that with you. And if you are considering going low to no contact and you're intimidated on doing that because of that scripture and because of religious beliefs, there are stories in the Bible that talk about people who go no contact. And I wanted to share that with you guys because I'm doing this Bible plan through the Bible Project, where it's taking you through the Bible and it's explaining how to read the Bible. And I just love I've done one of theirs before like this, how to read the Bible, but I just love their commentary. Anyway, so right now I just was finishing up Genesis 30 through 31. I'll share it in the description. But the story of Jacob and Esau, two twin brothers. Jacob stole Esau's birthright, lied to his dad. I mean, his mom came up with it. So if you think that the Bible is filled with picture perfect people, no. His mom was like, he's about to die. He's going to give Esau the birthright. I think you should have it. Here's what you're going to do. I'm going to cook up some game. I'm going to cook it how he liked it to eat it. I want you to put this fur, because Esau was hairy. You put this fur on your arm, and Jacob wasn't. And when your father go to touch you or go to, put your arm out so that he'll think it's Esau. And he tricked his father. His father was like, it's the voice of Jacob, but you hunted like Esau and you cooked my favorite game like Esau. Come here, let me touch you. Come closer. And he touched him because he was old and poorly in age. So he might have tricked his old, poorly father. But anyway, Jacob came back. Father, I got it for you. Back then, he was like, I done already blessed him with everything. He will be blessed with everything. My word is my bond. Like, his word was his word. It was. And he was like, and he shook with anger. But anyway, it says that Esau got so upset that he was like, the time for mourning my father is almost done, because he went on to glory. When we done with the mourning of my father, I'm going to kill Jacob. And the mother found out. And the mother was like, you got to get out of here. You got to run away, because your brother is planning to kill you. And so Jacob ran away. And he was in no contact with his brothers for many, many years. Okay? I don't know. Cain killed Abel. Cain had to be out of the presence of the Lord. He had to go off away from his family. And back then, no contact was like no social. They didn't have social media. I don't even know how they got messages to each other. I think they just had to walk to each other or send messengers. Yeah, they had to send messengers. But anyway, and then, there's always the story of Jacob. I mean, not Jacob, Jesus and his mother and brothers, when he was preaching, they thought he was crazy. They came to take him back home by force. And it says somebody came in as Jesus was teaching and was like, your mother and brothers are out there. And Jesus was like, who are my mother and brother? These right here that follow my Father in heaven. And so that story always blessed me as well. So, and there are other stories where people were separated from their family. And if it was back then, it was no contact. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like they had phones, they had mail. They were moving to like different states, I guess you would consider it. Different countries in some instances, I guess you would consider it. That part, I don't really get into the geography of it. But I just wanted to share that with you to encourage you. If you are in a situation where you're just in a toxic relationship and you don't know if going no contact or low contact is the right thing to do, pray about it and seek the answer in the word, and it will be given to you. And if you step out on faith, I love one of the definitions of God's character and name. It's might. His might. When I think of might, if you step out on faith, he will put his might behind you. You take one step, you take 2 steps, take 3 steps, take 4, and you'll look up and you're like 8 steps ahead. okay? If he did it for me, he'll do it for you too, okay? Thank you guys so much for rocking with the channel. This is a longer video. I'm up at 35 minutes. So if you've made it to this far, CD, thank you so much for your love and your support and your encouragement. It greatly blesses me. You know, come back for more of the content. I will see you guys in another video. Get out there and get after whatever your get after is, if you are able to get after it. I love you. God loves you so much more.